Today is 07 January 2018. Sorry I'm a little distracted. I'm watching Max out here, a pirate hunter. He's on the trail of some scent of something. It's funny. Great Danes. Funniest dogs in the world. They're absolutely the funniest dogs in the world. So I had promised to do a video on how to find places to shoot. Been working on it for a while, on and off, because it's somewhat easy, but everything that's easy seems to get complicated. And it's just taken me a while to get a decent camera and get my act together to be able to put this on. And I've posted a few videos now, and video quality is pretty decent. Sound quality seems to be pretty good. Actually, I do want to bump that sound up on that though. Problem is, I'm afraid that if I do that, I'm going to get a lot of noise, background noise. But we'll try this part first and we'll see how this goes. I don't think the last video I had was too bad, and I just changed the settings, so we'll have to compare and see how they work. If you found this video, you're looking for places, a new place to shoot. Out in the desert where I live, it's a lot easier said and done than it is for some people out east or in a high density area that may not have the means to get out and go shooting. I am gonna start rolling in some footage here, pictures basically. If you do get a chance to go out to the desert, where do you go? Do you go to a place that looks like this? Shotgun shells all over the place, trash all over the place. I can't even count how many people are shooting in this picture, or how many people are in this picture with loaded weapons. Who's paying attention to what? It's sometimes very, very unsafe. And look at this, the local trash heap where all these people like to go and shoot. You see this group of guys, another truck. There's just a ton of people out there shooting, and you can't keep your eyes on people that are down the road or down the washway, wherever, whatever you want to call it, 100 yards out, 200 yards out, that could still connect with you if you got muzzled by some knucklehead walking around their truck with a loaded weapon and it accidentally goes off. You could still get hit. Your vehicles could get hit. So I'm not into that. I'm not into trash heap shooting. It just looks disgusting. And it's just nasty. I couldn't stand to shoot in a place like that. Go to a gun range and you're gonna find rules upon rules upon rules. Some rules for shooting are total common sense. Okay? I like simple. Simple is better for me. I'm not the sharpest tool in the drawer, brightest bulb in the box, whatever. I'm a little slow on the uptake. However, I'm not stupid, and some very common sense range rules apply anywhere you go and whoever you are. Mainly, always assume the gun is loaded. That just, you're asking for trouble if you don't. I don't even know why that has to be said. If you were holding a hand grenade, you would expect that it's loaded, it's ready to go, it could explode. If you pull a pin, of course. But, it's loaded. You know it's going to go off if you do something stupid. So why would firearm be any different? You know, that's like saying, posting on the, you know, sticker on a hammer, this will cause serious bodily injury if you smack yourself in the head with it. Duh. Duh. No. I'm gonna set this up. This is still not being set up. I'm basically just kind of monologuing right now, just so I could roll in some of these pictures of these trash heap shooting spots, just nasty areas. Even public ranges are not the safest places in the world. I got muzzled one time by a father and son at a gun shop that had a range in it. It was Shooter's World here in Phoenix. And at the time, it was like 1995, 6, somewhere right in there. Where's my dog? Pirate dog, there you are. Father and son comes in, rents a weapon, buys the range ammo, buys the range targets. You know, that's one of the things that pisses me off about a range. You can't bring in your own targets. You can't shoot your own stuff. So father and son rent this pistol. They obviously didn't know what they were doing. Nobody qualified them. Nobody checked them out. They just, here's your driver's license we need, and here's your box of ammo. Here's your target. Here's your gun. Have fun. They did give them eye and ear protection. But you know, they're shooting. I'm shooting, and I noticed that father is obviously, he's got his back to it. You know, we're shooting down the range. Okay, Dad's got his gun, and all of a sudden he's down like this. So you know something's wrong. He's not up. He's not shooting. He's down doing something. And then all of a sudden, there he goes. He comes around. He's trying to unjam his hot weapon, and muzzles me. Pissed me the hell off. Rangemaster saw it. Kicked him out, and I don't know if they banned them or told them they had to take an NRA class before they could shoot a firearm. That's what I would do. In fact, if I was emperor, I'd forget background checks. I would just make it mandatory that everybody had to have a safety card. Like, you've taken a NRA certified class. You have a certain amount of hours of gun safety, gun handling, gun shooting. And once you had that, you'd maybe renew it once every 5 years, kind of like a driver's license. But that's it. That's all you need. And once you have that card, you could go to any gun shop. You can buy any weapon you want for the most part. I guess I'd say you can buy any weapon you want. Caveat to that, obviously, or class 3s or whatever, and class 2, class, whatever the hell the machine guns are, fully auto weapons. You can't just go in and buy those. Well, that's stupid, and we all know it. As gun people, you know it too. Why should we be limited on what we can shoot? There's no reason in the world for it. A responsible gun owner is one of the safest people around. Do a few fly off the handle, do a few mess up, do a few get arrested and in trouble because of misconduct with a firearm? Absolutely. But so do cops, so do firemen, so do teachers, you know, so does everybody. There's always a couple of knuckleheads in the bunch. So again, this is why this video is going to go long, because I am just going on and on and on. Oh, today's my birthday, by the way. So if I get interrupted on the phone or something like that, I apologize. There might be quite a few little clips to this video. I don't have my paperwork and stuff laid out yet, and I'm not sure how I'm going to shoot it so that you can see everything that I'm talking about. But we'll get you hooked up here in a minute. I may have to get that camera way up on this table and up high and kind of zoomed in so I can lay everything out. But in the meantime, again, you're trying to find a new place to shoot. One of the things that's going to dictate where you go, and I'll get to that in a little bit, is how much distance do you need for your shooting. are you just plinking with some 22s and taking some kids out target practicing or teaching them some gun safety? You don't need a whole lot of area for something like that. It's going to be close range and nothing extreme. Even if you're going to be shooting some handguns, higher caliber handguns than 22, you don't need a whole ton of room. However, if you're going to do a run and gun course like the one you see in my Shooting in the Desert video, there'll be some more of those too, by the way. That's just the first of many. I'm sure that to a lot of people those are boring, and if that's the case, well, you know, you can go find a knitting channel somewhere. But I totally lost my train of thought. Neighbor pulls up and I totally lose my train of thought. Crap. Cut. Alright, so you're looking for a new place to shoot. Where do you go? Oh, now I remember what I was getting at. How much area do you need? In our run and gun, I know that my course needs a 900 foot area. 900 feet is 300 yards, and when we have our first station, and I'll show you the layout here on it, but our first station is a 100 yard shot with rifle, 5 rounds. Then you transfer to pistol, and you've got 1, 2, 3 stations to shoot 5 rounds of pistol. And if you look at the clay target holder video I have, there's 3 clay targets set up at each spot. And if you shoot it in like 3 shots, you can bank those rounds, those extra rounds that you had, because you've got 5 total to use. But if you get it done in 3, you bank those rounds and you go on to the next, target. Hopefully you get a little surplus there and maybe a surplus at the last shot. The reason you do that is because on the last pistol station, which is maybe a 15 yard paper bad guy, at least it's 25 feet out, 25 foot out, you have to shoot with your offhand. Single-handedly, you're going to simulate getting shot in the arm and losing control of your strong arm. Okay, so you broke it, you broke your wrist, you got injured, you got shot, whatever, so you can no longer use this one. So you have at least 5 rounds, and then any surplus rounds that you bank from the other 3 stations on the paper bad guy. And I'm telling you what, it's not easy. This run and guns videos that are before this one on my site, you can tell. I mean, we've got a lot of flip. It's hard to control it because this is not the arm you're used to shooting with, and it's shaky. I mean, it's not even as sturdy with your strong hand if you shot one-handed. That's why everyone's double. This one, it's not a gimme. Again, it's not a gimme. A lot of my shots are not. They look like it. It might look like it on video. Might look like we're crappy shots, and we are. But I can guarantee you can come out or you set one of these kind of courses up, and you're gonna have the same problems. They're good problems though. Love to shoot, love to practice, love to get better. How you doing, Max? So I'm going to show you how to find BLM land where I go and shoot. And as you can see, I've got this riverbed. I guess they call it a wash, a riverbed, whatever. It's a wash. That's 300. It's longer than 300, but I can get it at 300 yards. I can get farther down it. I can run, but I can't shoot that. I can't shoot further than that because I'm squeezing a 200-yard shot out of it as it is, just because of all the vegetation around it. It blocks your view. You can't set targets up, and you can't set targets up past, you know, what you can visibly see. There's just, you can't shoot them, obviously. And the farthest shot I can get is about 200 yard shot. So this area is really good. This wash, and I call it the spot 2. Neat place, real neat place. It's quiet. It's pristine. As you can see in all my videos and all the clips that I show you of my spots, there is absolutely no trash whatsoever anywhere. I didn't even find a gum wrapper when I was out there scouting this place. And I'll show you that too. I had 5 different areas that I picked out, all on BLM land and within a square mile of each other. So I spent 2 days scouting these places out and seeing how well we could shoot and what we could set up. So let me get this paperwork unfolded, or set up right. Let me get the camera set up right. It's about time. My kids are taking me out to lunch this morning, and I gotta drive into Scottsdale to eat. So that's at noon. It's already almost 11 o'clock. It's 10:40, and I'm gonna have to go eat and then come back and finish this up. So hang in there. We'll get you going here in a minute, and you won't even notice I'm gone. Alright, tubers, I told you I'd be right back. You wouldn't even know I'm gone. Oh, I had a little trouble focusing on this beautiful girl. Got neighbors. Everybody mostly has neighbors. And they're working on motorcycles or whatever. You know, you ever have those neighbors that just annoy you no matter what? It could be worse, believe me. It could be a ton worse, and I'm grateful that it's not. They're fairly cool. They've got a lot of kids. The kids are pretty cool, like my dog. But it's just annoying when you have noisy neighbors. So let's get down to it. You want to find some BLM land to shoot, because you want to shoot your favorite guns, whatever they may be. I just happen to have the M14 out, or the M4, the Colt LE6920, and it's a black gun, yes, okay, fine. There's nothing more dangerous than that, according to the liberal bedwetters. And I don't see that shooting itself. I know it's pointed down range. There's houses through my garage door, and it's not going off by itself. I don't see it really doing anything but sitting there looking beautiful. So for all you liberal bedwetters, I have something for you. Okay? This will help you. There you go. Take advantage of it. That seems like a pretty reasonable price. Seems like a bargain. Or $1.70, $1.69 and up. Oh, I guess it depends on whether you have a fat kid. Oh, can't have that. We can't say fat kid. But look at the fine print over here. You can bag yourself a 10% discount when ordering 3 or more. And the way you liberal bedwetters are, you probably ought to order them by the gross. So, there you have it. Alright, what we're going to do now is we're going to get rid of the jokes, and we're going to get down to some business here. This is how I find BLM land to shoot on. Out here in Arizona, we have quite a bit of it, and it's wonderful for a lot of different reasons. And I'm not talking about trash heap shooting. They have a ton of that too, and I hate it. Absolutely hate it. And you go out to your local shooting spot, you've got a gazillion people out there all being assholes. You know, the retardation in this state and this country have no limits, I don't think. And so you go out to your local trash heap and shoot. You don't know who's out there doing what and shooting what, and whether they're going to be safe or not. And I'm just not into it. The same reason I'm not into public ranges. I just told you about how I got muzzled at a range, and I can't stand it. I prefer to be out somewhere where I can control the situation. And getting out into the desert is fantastic. Look at this picture here. This is spot number 2 on this map. Spot number 2 is right here. And I'm doing this to a tripod, so forgive me. And go like that. See if I can zoom in on it. Spot number 2 is this shot right here that I'm showing you. I've got truck backed up underneath a nice shady tree. Super peaceful and quiet, not a soul around. No honking horns, no traffic, no airplanes to speak of. There was 1 or 2 high altitude, nothing major out there. Absolutely pristine, peaceful, calm, and very, very relaxing. Great spot to go and relax with the family, with your buddies, with whoever you might want to go out and shoot with. And that's kind of another reason to find some place out in the boonies that is quiet and peaceful and not intimidating. Private ranges or public ranges and indoor ranges are kind of intimidating for first-time shooters. They're nervous about shooting or learning how to shoot anyway. It's like anything else, you know. I remember the first time I golfed, you know, and I was on the first tee, and I'm thinking and saying to my brother-in-law, dude, why is it right up front of the clubhouse? How come I have to have all these people watching me? If I choke, it's going to suck. And very intimidating. Luckily, I hit the first ball. It sliced, but I still got it off the tee. I didn't chunk it or whatever. And, you know, the rest is ancient history. But going out to these places is nice, because at a public range, whether it be indoors, outdoors, or out in the sticks, you can't really fire up the barbecue, you know. You can't kick back with the family. You can't have an open fire. And in the wintertime, a fire is nice. It's calming, relaxing, soothing, everything that you want on a weekend to get away from work and everything else. Go out and relax by a fire. Kick back and do a little target shooting. A lot of fun, a lot of fun. So that's a big reason why I like to go out and find these places. Also, I go out and find these places just because I can't stand shooting next to people. I don't like the trash heap. I don't like the public ranges. I don't like indoor ranges at gun shops. I just can't stand that. And I don't have the clout or the connections to get a range all by myself. So I have to go out to the sticks, and I don't care I don't mind it, whatever. It's fantastic because I can get out into a little bit of Mother Nature and do some shooting. And quite honestly, when you get out to these places, sometimes you'll see wildlife and things that you don't really see too much of in the city. So that's another reason to go out and get into these places. And look at the spot where this truck is parked, you know, underneath the tree, backed up, tailgate open, stuff's kind of scattered a little bit, lawn chair out, fire pit right over there. Super cool spot, super cool spot. And if you had some kids with some 22s and trying to teach them gun safety and teaching them accuracy and all, that's a great spot to do it in. Great spot. So what I want to do is I want to show you how I zero in on these spots. And as you can see from this picture, I have 5 different areas that I want to scope out, check out, and possibly these are all good shooting spots. Now, how do I know that those are good shooting spots? Well, I don't at first. However, I sat back and thought to myself, I said, self? No, I didn't really say self. I said, hey dummy, where do you want to go? What do you want to shoot? You want to go shoot at the local trash heap, or do you want to go work at it a little bit and drive a ways and get out of where the rest of the retards are shooting? And I thought, you know, hey, I want to get away from retards. I hate retards. I don't like hazardous shooting conditions. It's bad enough to have to worry about what I'm doing, much less have to worry about what other people are doing. So I figure that an easy day of shooting is going to require about an hour's drive. Maybe I'd be willing to go 2 hours to get away from everybody and everything. Told you my phone was going to be going off all over the place. Damn. Sorry about that. Told you it was my birthday. I'm going to be interrupted. I think that's it though. So I'm going to try this again. Got the garage open this time. I think the neighbors are done doing their motorcycle work for right now. So I don't even remember where I left off. So we're going to kind of go over this just a touch. That was the person that called was my son, and he's out in California. Works for, I don't know if I want to say who he works for. I don't have his permission, but needless to say, he's he's got a great job. That young little punk, he's awesome. I'm so proud of him. He's well established at that company. He's been working there 10 years, 15 years. Dude's not even, I think he'll be 30 this year. Anyway, he's going to come out probably about mid-February. He's got a couple of weeks worth of vacation saved up, and he's going to burn them because his project is about finished out there, and so he's got some time to burn, so that's going to be cool. We'll be able to go out and do another run and gun here in February. So, alright, so anyway, let's get back down to it. All of these areas, how do you know that these areas are safe to shoot in? Well, you have to check with the BLM. Now, how you check with the BLM is up to you, but there's a couple of different ways. One, you can go to the BLM website and you can pull up maps like this. I got everything blocked out just because shooting spots are kind of like fishing holes. You don't want everybody in the world to know about it. So when you find a good spot, you just really don't want a lot of people to know about it. But you can pull a BLM map and check areas that you like and see. Now the BLM land is this stuff right here. This is BLM land, but the darker shades are protected areas that you can't go and shoot in. So you have to watch it. You have to be careful. I really like this map because it's color-coded and it tells me where everything is. You know, the white areas are private property, the blue is state trust land, this orangish color is BLM, gives you like Indian reservations, military reservations, protected areas, preserves, blah 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 blah. So it's pretty cool. And I'll tell you why you want to do all of this stuff here in a minute, but I verify where I want to shoot with a BLM. I also pull a map, well, I bought a map, a hunting map, and this is from a company called huntdata.com. And I got this map at Bass Pro Shop / Outdoor World. So I know it's got to be pretty accurate. It's a hunting map. They call it a land ownership map. Shows you what unit it is. 37B. It's kind of a giveaway on sort of where I go. But that's a whole lot of land out there, and this is actually the wrong side. So don't get excited. Don't go, oh dude, Jackhammer Mike, I just found out where you shoot. Well, 37B is a big area, and I don't actually shoot in 37B yet. I haven't gone to any spots to scope them out. But this is on BLM land right here. The blue is state trust. You can't shoot there. You can hunt, but you can't target shoot. The lighter areas here are private property, and most of the roads, if it's a named road like this one here, if it shoots across private property, well, that's tough shit for them. That has to be a right-of-way, but you never know. You got to be careful. Sometimes they might be closed or locked, but you know. Most of it is wide open unless there's like fire restrictions, and then you're absolutely screwed. Max, come up here. So huntdata.com, that was an expensive map too. I'm telling you, that was almost 20 bucks. And I wasn't really thrilled with that, but whatever. It helps you to narrow down your areas. And what I mean by that is that when you find a place that you like, the big map helps find stuff. And there she blows. Now I want to show you something here. Hopefully you can see that well. Glasses on. Let me zoom in on this a little bit. Sorry for the shaky camera, but the tripod is way up high. Okay, I want to show you where I find my little landmarks and how I know that, at least on this map, it's a safe place. You see this triangle right here? Triangle shape? Okay. That's in the BLM area. The right colors, everything. Now, look at this spot right here. Oh, come on. Got it so zoomed in I can't tell you where you're at. There we are, right there. That's my triangle right here. So let me zoom out now so that you can see this a little better. Okay, see this area right here? That's this little area right here. This road right here is this road right here. Okay, so according to this map, this area here is BLM, and I can actually see some of these areas and compare them. Look at this area right here. This little outcropping, that little point right there, that's this. Okay, it's not 100% the same as you would see on a satellite picture. It's a little bit different, but it's really close. Alright, so this little square mile area is this square mile area, and so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots in about a square mile area that have potential to be shooting spots. As you can see, I've kind of looked at them to a point where, okay, how do I know that it's going to be a decent shooting spot? Well, because it's got, you know, a bald area. It's got a big patch of baldness here, and you know, how much area is this? How big is that? So zooming in from satellite, you'll see that you'll be able to get some decent measurements out of it before you even go and waste your time going out to it. Now, I want you to focus in on spot number 2. Okay, right there. That wash that's right here is where that truck was parked in the fire pit, and the river or the wash area that I'd like to shoot. So what I did was I started looking at this area saying, okay, I know it's on BLM land, at least according to this map right here. Then I double check the area and see if this area is on the BLM website map. And I will ask you to look at this area and the shape of this area right here. Square with 2 tabs coming out of it right there. Okay, look right there, that's the same spot. Okay, now I blocked out the road for you, unfortunately for you, but yes, that is the same spot as that. Now this chunk of land right here is this area, and this is going to be, this is a secondary spot I'm going to go to. Got a place right here that I'm going to show or go to and double check on it. So I'll show you this here in a minute, but I'm going to show you places that I've already been to. So, Max, come on, up here. So, I've verified that the area I'm interested in is BLM land, according to this map right here. And then on this map here. Now, I go another step and go to this page right here. And this is called publiclands.org/Arizona. And that kind of does the same thing as this BLM map. Okay, you can pick and choose the things that you want to highlight and the color codes that coincide with it, and it will mark it on this map for you. Now here's the reason I do this, because if I get out to this spot and go out and start shooting and State Trust goof comes up and starts hassling me and wants to give me a hard time for shooting, I'm going to point out to him that according to this map here and this map here and this map here, I am on BLM land and I am in perfect right to shoot there. Here's the road coming into it, and as you come into this thing, of course you have to go across State Trust land, and there's signs on the fence, and there's a cattle guard there. And you would think that from what those signs say, State Trust land, stay out, no trespassing unless you have a permit, no target shooting, blah, blah, blah. All the rules are posted on the fence. Well, people are going to see that sign and go, oh, wait, I can't go target shooting out there, so I got to turn around and go somewhere else. Bullshit. You're going across State Trust land. They're going to have that on that song, you know, on their border. But as you go down this road, you'll see I'm in BLM land again. And then I'm going to cross State Trust land again. And then I'm going to go across BLM land again. I could take this road even further and go across State Trust again. And then I'm going to go across private property. And then I'm going to go across State Trust land again, and then more BLM land. So you go across quite a bit of territory when you go out to these places, especially when you go far out. And what's far? Well, I can tell you that far is not the hour drive that it took me to get to there. That's close. Very close. And understand this, the further out you go, the less chance you're going to have of shooting next to retards. So I'll have backup and have done my due diligence to make sure that I'm on BLM land, so that when some ranger comes out there and tries to tell me he knows better than I do, I'm not going to argue the point with him. I won't be belligerent. I don't want my guns confiscated. I don't want my stuff taken. So I'm just going to be very cooperative. I'm going to tell him that I did the best I could to make sure that I was on BLM land. There were no fire restrictions there. And as you can see from this sign right here, this is what you see as you first go into it. And it says you're crossing state trust, BLM, forest, and private property. Okay. So there's a multi-use area out here, and down on the bottom of that sign you'll see that you're going to have various permits to be out there. Also, the BLM, Max, come here, Max. Okay, good boy. The BLM posts on their website a nice little area, or a nice little set of regulations for your viewing pleasure that I keep with me, just to show Ranger Rick that, hey, you know, I'm very familiar with the rules and regulations, and I am doing my best to adhere to them. I'm a responsible shooter, and I'm not looking for any trouble. So they're gonna let me go. I've never been hassled, quite honestly. I've never been busted out in the places that I shoot. So with that in mind, once I find my area and I find a place that I'm very much interested in, I'm going to zoom in on it a little bit more and see what kind of obstacles or things that are out there. You can't shoot across roads, you can't shoot across established trails, but the BLM regulations tell you that you also cannot be doing off-road. If you're riding motorcycles, ATVs, whatever you're riding out there, you have to stay on what they call established trails. Now, if you can see something from the satellite, you can pretty much establish that you can pretty much guess that that is an established trail. Inset footage coming up of the desert here. This was the Alamo. This is the spot number 1. This was this spot right here, these pictures I'm showing you right now. And as you can see from the vegetation there, there is nothing out there but cactus and thorny bushes and more cactus, choyas, the jumping kind. And I can guarantee you, you are not going to be going off-road. You're going to stay on those trails, because if you try to go across that desert, you're going to get shredded. Even if you're walking, you have to be so careful on what you're walking next to. It is thick, it is dense vegetation out there. In spite of it being a desert, there is really nothing out there but cactus and more cactus, and it's very thick. So I'm safe in assuming that any of these roads here are probably something that people will want to travel on. However, off-road, no. So if my shooting spot happens to be this riverbed or this wash, for instance, let's see, this wash right here, and I'm shooting in this direction, I can pretty much guarantee you that I'm not going to be crossing any roads on it. I'm not going to be shooting across any trails or anything like that. The BLM says you're not supposed to be running down washes and stuff like that, but a lot of people do. You know, you got your ATVs and stuff and you want some sand, that's a great area to do it in. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. So once I pick up on a spot, I will zoom in on it with satellite photos and I will try to see what's there. This is a 1 mile radius from here to here, and I'm trying to see what kind of obstacles I have in the way. So I'll zoom in on it a little bit more, and also take pictures. Print it out. This is all evidence that you can use in case you get hassled by an overzealous government official that's saying that you're not allowed to shoot on your own lands. Public lands, you can tell him to kiss my ass if you want to, but you'll probably lose that fight if you're belligerent. But if for some reason you have some real dick that wants to give you a ticket, you've got a lot of info that you can use to go and fight this in court. So I'll zoom in on it a little bit more. Check this area out here. No shoot zone. That's going across a road. There's the road right here. That's the main road coming in. You don't want to shoot in that direction anywhere. And our wash is right here, so we're not going to be shooting across that road anyway. Okay. And then with my 1 mile radius, I want to know, are there roads there? What's in the way? This here is a gas pipeline. Kinder Morgan gas pipeline, natural gas. And that runs through that area. It's a right of way. There's no fences. Well, there's some fences for boundary lines and things like that, but there's nothing that was closed, nothing that says you're trespassing. It's just a pre-cut right of way and a road that the Kinder Morgan guys have to run up and down and inspect their piping. So once I do that and I see that there doesn't look like there's any obstacles in any of the areas that I want to shoot within a mile up this road here, because we're going to be shooting up this river, and there's nothing here as far as trails. That's a trail, that's a road, that's a, they're dirt. It's clear. It's not vegetation, but you can see them from satellite, so you have to assume that they're trails. Okay, but there's nothing in here. There's this one right here, but that's up in the hills. There's nothing there. Then I'm thinking, okay, that's a pretty decent spot to shoot. What does it look like up close and personal? And I will go and take a 2D picture and scan of the area on Google Maps. It doesn't do it justice, but it's better than nothing. And it does tell you that along this riverbed are hills. That is about a 40 to 60 foot rise between here and up here where this road is. So I have a backstop. I have all these areas here that are backstops for shooting, because I'm down here in this little wash down on the bottom of this hill. Okay, so that's a great spot to shoot, and I know I'm not going to be hitting that road. Stray bullets aren't going to be going out there. All my stuff is staying here in this wash. So cool, that's a good looking spot. Now, can I shoot there? One of the things you need to determine where you're going to go and shoot is how much area do you need to shoot. I need 900 feet. I need a 300-yard area for me to shoot in. Because generally, we like to start, make a short run, 25 yards, and shoot at a 100-yard steel plate. 5 rounds. Okay, all our mags are loaded to 10, and we shoot 5 rounds on the steel target. Then we transition to pistol. We shoot a few pistol shots, boom, 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 and then we're making a 50-yard run to this area right here. After my pistol shots, we go prone or kneeling or standing. There's a 50-yard paper bad guy right here. I'll show you here in a minute. Once we hit that paper bad guy, then we run up to this position. There's a barricade there. There's a 100-yard shot and a 200-yard shot. Okay, 5 rounds on the 100-yard, then 10 rounds on the 200-yard shot, and that would complete your run. So we need 100 yards to run, 200 yards to shoot. Combine that and make about a 300-yard distance that we need for a good course. Okay, so once I see, hey, that's pretty good, got a pretty decent backstop there, looks like it's going to be a pretty good place to shoot, I will get a little bit closer and I will look on here and say, yep, that's a beautiful little area. Okay. The one thing that makes it a little tricky is this tree in the center of this wash. And all of these are trees. These aren't just scrub brush or anything. These things are 7 to 10 feet high everywhere in here. All of this stuff. You can't see what's out there. So that's why you got to be really careful about shooting in here. You got to know the area. You got to know the backstop. You got to know what's up here. And when you get here, unless you have a drone that you can fly out and scope this area out, you're going to walk up this wash a long ways. I would say it would be nice to go a mile up that wash, just so you can make sure that there's no cattle grazing, horses, wild horses out there, riders, or whatever. You know, the thing of it is that on BLM land, this is something you really got to remember. BLM land is multi-use land. There are ranchers out there that let their cattle just run all over the place out there and graze. So you could be shooting up the wash and you could go 200 yards. Your bullet, if you miss, is going to go God only knows how far before it's stopped by vegetation and trees and backstops and hills and everything else. But you could be shooting into somebody's herd of cattle. I don't think from here, half mile up the wash, which is way up here, that you'll be able to hear a herd of cattle. So what I'll do is I will make my marks and measurements, and from this little orange dot right here to here is 100 yards. Well, we'll start here, run 25 yards, shoot from here 100 yards, and then we do our pistol stuff, and then stop, and then shoot 50 yards to this spot right here. Then we'll run it up to this area and have a barricade, and we will shoot down here for our 100-yard target and our 200-yard target. And like I was saying, this tree being here in the middle sucks, because there's a narrow window right here, 10 to 12 feet. But when you're shooting at shooting back at 50, 75 yards, that looks like they're touching. It's not that wide, but you have to shoot between this bush here and this bush here to get your target, and then you've got to get another target out here, somehow spread these two apart just enough that you can see them between these two trees and shoot. So it's narrow. It's tough to do. It's tough to make a good course, especially when you got trees in the wash. Here's a better shot of it. I measured, from here to my first shot right here, that's 100 yards, and to there's a 200-yard shot, and I'm zooming in to see what is the best shot I can take between these two bushes. Now, you're not allowed to go out and cut branches, and you're not allowed to disturb the vegetation out here. However, if one of those saggy branches just happens to snap off during windy conditions or something like that, well, that might give you a little bit more room. But you can see there's not a ton of room between those two trees. Like I said, you've got maybe 10 to 12 feet. There's a shadows being thrown here. This is a shadow, and this is some shadow. So it looks a little different from satellite. Unfortunately, they don't update it, and they don't give you different times of the day shots, and they don't shoot it from different angles. So you can't get a real super accurate picture of what's going on here. This bush looks a lot bigger than what it is, but this is all shadow. Same with this area here. This is all shadow. And this tree is running right along the river bank, or the wash bank right here. So, you know, the satellite does you a lot of good, but sometimes it's good for nothing because it doesn't really give you an accurate picture of what you got. So there's the course kind of laid out a little bit, or at least some distances, so that when I'm out here, I can walk and go, okay, this is 75 feet, 25 yards, 25 yards. Now, here to here is 50 yards. And I can set up targets by looking at these landmarks, you know, this vegetation. And that was very accurate. This was probably only taken in, well, it says 2017. It doesn't say when it was taken, but it was very accurate. When I walked this wash to verify what's out there, it was great. It was really accurate. I got about 18 minutes left, so I got to cut this quick. Once you establish all of this, and this is the reason I do all of this, because I'm not going to go waste my time and drive out and scout this area knowing that it's a piece of crap area and I can't shoot there anyway, so why even bother? I'm not looking for a place to go picnicking or camping or anything else. I'm looking for a place to shoot. So I do all this effort and research to make sure that I can lay out my course when I want to, and I can get my shots in here, and then I will put boots on the ground. I have a second another video. I haven't really put it together because it's just, you know, it's just boring. It's just me scouting out my area, and I'm not really thinking I'm gonna post it. It was just me farting around. It's kind of cool. It was a beautiful area, and I went out there. Check this out. I went out there on Labor Day weekend, okay, to this place, and there was no one there. I never saw a soul. And the cool thing about it was, you would think that during Labor Day weekend there would be all sorts of people out there recreating. I mean, it was the last blowout of the summer, and there wasn't a soul around. And that's why I thought I had you know, a really good spot to shoot, because of the fact that there was no one there, no one taking advantage, and no one goes out there. It was so far out there that nobody goes out there. Nah, that's not the case. I went there on a weekend with Knee Knocker. You can watch the shooting video. And there was people camping right here. They pulled their trailer with a four-wheel drive truck down this wash and camped right there. I don't know how they got it down that wash or why they did that. I don't know if I'd have the guts to do that, but apparently they did. So, one more little quick thing. This is my secondary long-range spot that I'm about to go out and scout here in the next week or two. This area here is what I like to call the boar's head. If you can look at this spot right here, and I'll zoom in on it a little bit just so you can kind of see the shape of it. Does that kind of not look like a pig's head? A boar's head? There's my snout. There's the head. Kinda. Or a razorback. Or, you know what it actually kind of reminds me of is the, whatever the roadrunner or bird or whatever animal they use on thrush mufflers. It's got a little cigar sticking out of his mouth. And, kind of, I think it's a roadrunner or something. I don't know exactly. But it's got a little cigar sticking out of its mouth, and that's what I kind of think that little area is right there. Now, that little area you can see on this map, that's a white area. That's private property. But you see this riverbed that's going through here? That's on BLM land. That's this. Yeah. Okay. So, there is... Whoa, that's way too close. Back it up a little bit. Okay. There's my boar's head. Right here. There's snout. That's the little white area that's on this map right here. There's the road. That's obviously a little bit wrong, but there's my little white area, and there's my boar's head. Okay. That little white area again is right here, and there's a mine or some, I don't know why that's private property, but this wash is in the BLM land area. Okay, so this is BLM land, this is private property. See how close that border is? Very, very close. But this is where I'm going, right here. I'm going to shoot up this river. And as you can see, I've got this already marked out for a mile out. What am I going to be shooting across? Absolutely nothing if I'm shooting up this river. This is a little flatter area, so I'm hoping anyway. It looks like it on satellite. It looks a lot flatter. And then I've got a couple of close-up spots of it. And got all kinds of photos of it. This is how far it is from the highway. Got to travel all that road to get over there. I do that, so I know how far it is. That is about 3 miles in. When I zoomed in on that river or that wash, I started looking and marking my spots. So, you know, right here I want to take my 100-yard shot. I want to run here and do my 2 pistol shots. I want to go back up to here, do another 2 pistol shots. I want to go prone and do a 50-yard shot. And then I want to shoot 100 yards. And then I want to shoot 200 yards. And I don't have it zeroed out or zoomed out. But from this spot right here is about this spot right here. And that's a mile out, and there's nothing in my way. So one last thing I wanted to show you before I go is kind of course design and kind of getting an idea on what I want to do. So I'm going to take this spot and run to here. That's my first shooting spot, and the line shows me there's my 100 yards. Now I'm going to run 25 yards here, do a pistol shot, do a pistol shot, run another 25 yards, do a pistol shot, do a pistol shot. I want to go prone and shoot here, and then I'm going to run to here, and I'm going to shoot my 100-yard steel plate and 200-yard steel plate. The reason I do this and lay it out this way is because I hate to walk all the way out in the sticks and tape freaking targets. It's just stupid. I hate that. So being that I have to run to here, and I have to run to here to make my shot and make my shot, look, I'm 20 feet, 30 feet away from a paper bad guy right here. I like to do paper because it does give you a read back, you know, a feedback on how you're shooting. So when we do this course, we'll run, and we want to do a lot of mag changes. We want to practice mag changing. So when we get to our first 100-yard target, first 100 yards, our first spot, and we shoot 5 yards or 5 shots on a 100-yard target. Okay. And my mags are all loaded to 10, so I have 5 left in the mag. Do my pistol, and then I'm going to go 5 here on the head and 5 on the body. Doesn't matter which way you go. You can go 5 body, 5 head. Doesn't matter. But you're going to shoot 10 rounds here. However, you've already shot 5, so you're going to shoot 5 rounds, mag change, 5 more rounds, okay, that you're going to shoot. Then you're going to run to this target. You're going to shoot 5 more rounds on the 100-yard, reload, and you're going to shoot 10 shots on your 200-yard target. So a lot of mag changing, convenient to tape targets since you're already here. You already ran over to this point. You can see this paper target here. And that's the kind of considerations that you're going to want to do when you do your course. Set it up however you want to. Like I said, I do a lot of research. I do a lot of scribbling to see how I can best get my shot layout. But you want it convenient too. And you want it fun. You know, there's nothing better than, you know, guys that you go and take shooting and say a hot dog wants to stand and shoot. Now, I know, and you probably know, and most people know, if you go prone, you're going to get a lot more stability out of it. But some hot dogs want to go and stand, and they want to shoot and do standing. Well, that paper bad guy is the proof in the pudding, so to speak. It's going to tell you where you got your 5 rounds in the head, 5 rounds on the body. And when their shots are scattered all over the place because they just ran 75 yards, it's going to suck. So they need to get a better, you know, platform. But, you know, it is what it is. Maybe you got some hot dogs that can stand and shoot, you know, a gnat's ass at 1,000 yards, whatever. You'll see when you go here. So that's why having a few paper bad guys here and there is a lot of fun. And it's a lot of work, you know. A little bit of research at night, setting up your course, scratching it out, and trying to see what you got. So now that I've got this set up and this video going, I will make, when I go out in the next couple of weeks and see what this area looks like, put boots on the ground, verify that it's a good spot and there's nothing going on here, we will post that video. I will tell you there's something here that bothers me, and I don't know exactly what this is. It could be somebody camping. It could be a trailer. I just don't know exactly what it is. I can't see it well on a 2D picture. It doesn't really tell me what it is. There's a quarry right here, small one. There's not any houses or shacks or anything like that. There's some machinery there a little bit, but I don't exactly know what this is, but I do know that it's fenced. You can see the fence from the satellite. So anyway, hope that helped. It's a lot of work, but if you get your ducks in a row and you do your due diligence, you're going to find that you're going to be better off. If you get hassled by an overzealous BLM person, a state trust guy, park ranger, who the hell knows, sheriff's deputies, you could have some hikers out there calling the cops on you, the sheriff's on you for just shooting. Who knows? So have your ducks in a row, and if you do get hassled, be polite. You remember what Mama always used to say, you can catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar or mustard or whatever the hell she wanted to say. Actually, you can catch more flies with shit than you can with honey, but whatever. So there you have it. Shoot on BLM land, and then do me the favor and all the rest of us shooters the favor. Don't leave your crap out there. If you shoot, pick it up. If you see other people's stuff, pick it up. Don't be a dick out there, and leave the area clean and pristine for everyone else that wants to go out there and shoot too. And with that, this is Jackhammer Mike. I'm out.